All right, so this is Mr. Happy's video going over it. Apparently, I've never heard of Mr. Happy before now, so thanks for the heads up. Definitely interested in checking this dude out.
Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here, and oh boy, this is gonna be a fun little video. So, as many of you may be aware, there's a bit of controversy and drama going on in the Final Fantasy XIV community now.
Right.
Now, it's not about the data center travel not really being functional the day of it releasing, to no one's surprise, really. And it's not about the PvP.
So that's probably my favorite part about all of this. Like, so much happened in 14 yesterday. We've got this whole Billboard drama, data center transfer breaking because so many people are doing it, and they had oh, what the hell? There was something else too. I can't remember. Oh yeah, the PvP started up. He's literally saying it, and I'm like, I don't remember. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, he's right. There's so much going on.
Seasonal rewards being mixed up with season rewards or not
Oh,
being interesting enough to
that I didn't
warrant
even
going
hear
up in
about.
your ranks a second time. No,
Oh,
something
I
else
did not hear
happened on
about that
patch
at all.
6.18 day, and we're calling it the Billboard incident. So to get all of you caught
Straightforward.
up, there are many venues throughout Final Fantasy XIV in the housing areas, basically locations that emulate things like a cafe or, in this case, a nightclub, where people can go to roleplay and fill out various, that's just what they do. They have fun with it. Now, one venue in particular, seemingly, and I still say that because I guess I can't really believe that it's happened, even though it seems very real at this point,
I don't
rented
think anyone can believe
actual
it.
billboards in a couple of different states to add.
Okay, so when I was looking at this yesterday, I thought it was just one billboard. I did not know they did it in multiple states. That's insane. So not only did they pay for a single billboard, they paid for multiple ones. I want to know first off, like I'm offended by being in Crystal now. Not really. But like being in the Crystal Data Center and having all this news, I'm very happy I'm not in Balmung server. I'm just hanging out over here on Zalera, just kind of chilling. But it's been a mess. Like why would they spend their own money to put multiple billboards out, not only in one state, but in multiple states? Like I like do these actual like ERP clubs, do they actually make like legitimate money? Or like
This is where the fun
Lou,
begins.
good morning. Lou, we're discussing the billboard incident in Final Fantasy XIV. But do these clubs actually make real money, or is it just Gil? I thought it was just Gil, like in-game stuff. But like that's a whole nother problem if they're making real actual money profiting off of this, like actual money. And if they are, they shouldn't be plastering it everywhere. That's just foolish. Because billboards are not cheap. And depending on the length of time they have this up there for, I'm assuming only like a week or so since they just put it out yesterday or earlier this week, and it's for this Saturday, so I'm assuming like this week. And still, that's expensive, man. Actually, let me see. Average billboard cost for 1 week. Okay, so for a whole month for a billboard, it's $750 on average. This is like a fancy billboard. It looks like it's in a high density area on a highway or something. So I'm assuming that was up there in price. But that's crazy. And that's like on the low end too. So if they were able, I don't think they were able to get this up for just a week either. I don't know if you can do that. But yeah, Lou, exactly what Naz said. Yeah, they basically made billboards multiple. I thought it was just one before going into this video. Multiple billboards across the country promoting a event at their in-game club by also posting characters that have modded gear on them, like modded outfits. Which, first off, modded is that's against terms of service. They have been very intense with like cracking down on modding and everything. Two, they apparently data mined like clothing that's not in the game. So that's another problem. And three, they're promoting like an ERP club, which again, against terms of service. Like, hey man, you guys do you. Like you do you, you have fun in there, but like don't plaster it on a billboard, man. Like what is wrong with this? And they also like they even put like they even put like all rights reserved for Square, and they put like the official logo. I can't read what that says down there, but I think it says property of something over there. But like it's literally like if somebody looked at this, they would assume that it's been approved officially by Square Enix, which they are probably pissed off about. Like I would not be surprised if legal action was taken against these guys. So people need to learn to keep your kinks at home. Facts. Like you do you, man. Don't plaster it on billboards. All right, let's keep watching Mr. Happy over here.
Advertise for a little Saturday night shindig. Now, at first, the simple absurdity of this was largely being memed on,
Yeah.
but it's quickly turned to concern over legal ramifications from Square Enix. It's also turned into a bit of a fear that contents of the billboard would lead to stricter guidelines on visual mods, something quite a few players utilize in various ways. Now, I'm
That's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think lawsuits are going to happen, and they're going to be extremely pissed off about the visual mods, which like G-pose and everything. Everybody doing all those outfits and whatnot. That's awesome. Like people have been having fun with that, but I don't think anybody understands that Square like allows that to happen because it's not really impacting the game. But if people start doing shit like this, that's going to be gone, man. I don't think people understand that. Like whoever decided to do this is a damn fool, and they should be shamed completely. Like this was the dumbest thing anybody could do. Like it's up there as some of these most stupid ideas.
going to provide some commentary on this, and we are going to be looking at those material usage rights again, but I need to make this abundantly clear. I am not a legal expert. Some statements I make here may simply be stated out of curiosity or wonder, but not out of legal precedent.
Yeah, same. I do not know legal stuff at all. I just know common sense, and common sense dictates don't do this. Don't plaster something like this all over the place if you don't own the property. You left the whole PC got burned banned. I think a couple players already did.
Or intelligence. I'm hoping one of many other legal experts make a video on this. I tweeted at Legal Eagle, and there's tons of other ones that cover more directly gaming related content. So please, if they release a video on this, give it a watch because it should be an interesting one. Now, I'm sure you're wondering why we're even bothering to talk about this. It's something that honestly will pass and go like most other things in the 14 community. However, bits about this billboard are actually interesting because the first thing we have to look at are the material usage rights, something that
Okay.
content creators are frequently looking at and trying to adhere.
Have I ever once read these? No. Am I going to? Yes. Absolutely. All right, I just want to look through this really quick. So, license applies to art, textures, though, right? All right, logo, sounds, recording, special 14 website. Oh, there's a whole fan kit. Really? There's a fan kit? Huh. I didn't know that. Okay.
Here too. And honestly, looking at the billboard, a lot of the material usage rights are actually handled correctly. The only difference is a billboard being a physical medium, and yes, something that could potentially be misconstrued as an official event for Final Fantasy XIV, versus a YouTube video where somebody's providing commentary or a guide. It's really just the little minute things that make the biggest difference here, but again, there's contents that are in and not in the billboard that lead to more concerns. So
Right, like I don't know why people can't differentiate, a physical billboard promoting something to a YouTube video that adds, adds content to the game, adds commentary, adds, people's art style or, editing skills or things like that, or even like a Twitch stream that adds entertainment, adds content, especially if you're partnered with Square Enix where they're like cool with you doing whatever. Completely different thing. They really should have reached out to Square first off and asked them, like, hey, is this a cool thing to do? That would have been the smartest thing ever. If you were in Square's position, you would do the perma ban on the FCS setting example. I could see that. And I've never heard of Legal Eagle. Is this a dude who like does a lot of legal stuff for like gaming? Because I'm gonna have to check him out, or check them out, or he's going to field day. I'm gonna have to check him out.
let's take a look at the material usage rights and see
Okay.
what they got right. Now, the material usage rights start by saying that any art, text, logos, video, screenshots,
Mhm.
images, sounds, music, or recordings from Final Fantasy XIV
Mhm.
are the things that this license applies to. So, yes, everything in there, it should be obvious, falls under this material usage
Right.
license. Now, as for the general guidelines, the very first one mentions that you may not use materials for any sales or commercial use.
Right there. Billboard's commercial thing. At least from my understanding, Billboard is commercial thingy. And Legal is a lawyer that talks about law stuff. Nice. I'll have to check them out. Interesting. Pour encourager les autres. What does that mean? You guys know my brain. My brain has like one language and is foolish. Okay, you cannot receive license fees or advertising revenue except as part of the partner problems or programs operated by YouTube, Twitch. So like they're set up where like you can make content for the game on YouTube or on Twitch and profit off of it. But dude, like if you use a trademark, then you must include a note saying that the mark is owned by. Okay, which they did. Oh, so this is what they added in the bottom left of the billboard. So they did that, and they also added this on the right bottom corner. I think the biggest thing though is they used modded stuff, which you can't do that. I'll have to check out some of his videos.
Outside of specific partner programs such as YouTube or Twitch. That was actually added within about a week after the game came out back in 2013, whereas it used to be strictly against the terms of service.
Yeah, that's
now, it
smart
is
for
worth
them to change
mentioning
it.
that as far as I know, this nightclub does not have any monetary gain from this billboard. They actually just put it up and are not looking to get any commercial use out of it. Yes, does it advertise for an in-game venue? Sure, but as long as they don't accept any real money in any capacity, they're actually okay on this front, so they don't have to worry about that first bit.
Mm-hmm.
For the second bit, if you use a trademark such as Final Fantasy or related logo, then you must include a notice saying the mark is owned by Square Enix.
Right,
Now,
which
they
they
have
did.
actually done that. In the bottom left of the billboard, they have the Final Fantasy XIV logo, and it does say Final Fantasy is a registered trademark of Square Enix Holdings Co. Ltd. So they're good on that front.
Right.
Now, if they use any copyrighted material, such as screenshots or gameplay videos, and given that the billboard itself is a screenshot, then they must include the following notice. Square
Right.
Enix Co. Ltd. All rights reserved.
They did,
and
bottom
that is
right.
also there in the bottom right side of the billboard. So far, they're actually looking okay on this front. Now, you may not sell the materials to third parties as original content. They haven't sold this, but they have rented out space. So I'm fairly certain that this is going to be okay, again, because there's no monetary or commercial gain for them.
Not use
You may not
materials to
use the
promote other
materials to
commercial
promote
products.
other commercial products. Again, they're not earning money, so I believe that should be okay.
I still don't know if they're not earning money on this though. Like, I would have to see if that's actually proven somewhere that they're not earning money, or maybe they just relied on donations or something to make these billboards, or they just have money. But again, billboards are not cheap. Like it's crazy. So pour encourage your lehotre. I said that completely wrong. Translates to encourage others. I make an example of someone. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'll have to check it out. So here's another big thing. Oh wait, that's trademark or copyright notices. Never mind. I was gonna say you may not alter, and if they modded things, then that's it's a alteration for sure.
You may not materially alter or modify the materials, except you may add your own voiceover, edit,
that's up
combine,
here.
match,
That's...
mix, or match the materials with other Final Fantasy XIV materials. Now, this is where they kind of get a little bit more into hot water, and only if you're someone who actually pays attention to this stuff. I would have never noticed if not for the glam aficionados really pointing things out. But it would appear that the screenshot is using mods or altered versions of certain outfits. One outfit in particular appears to not even officially be in the game yet. It's probably coming from an upcoming event. Most people would assume the summer event. And so the use of something that's data mined does actually come a little bit into play here, because that means they've altered their character to have access to an item that they shouldn't have access to.
And that's like I'm not that in depth with the outfits for the game, but I just read like it's all modded, or they have modded gear and everything. But like I could tell the one on the left, it didn't look like it's in the game. This one I know this outfit's pretty much in the game. It should be, like the tank top's there. I'm pretty sure the jeans are there and everything, so that's no worries. Like this did look a bit off, and just the posing and everything was definitely I don't know, man. It really just stands out. Like it still blows my mind.
Too. So of all the things that the billboard has done wrong, That is the first thing, and it is something explicitly covered in the material usage rights, which means that any of the ramifications in the material usage rights could technically be levied specifically for this first bit.
Exactly.
They may not alter, remove, or conceal any trademark or copyright notices. They have all the proper notices, so that should be okay, although the screenshot itself normally has one of those trademarks in the bottom right, but I think that it's...
Someone point out that the Vera hair is modded. Oh, you know what? That doesn't look familiar. You're right. You're right. It's crazy. Also, all right. So pour. I'm gonna say this again. Y'all are gonna be mad at me. Pour encourager Leatre translates to yeah, encourages that, but it goes back to the French Revolution when setting an example equals guillotine. I see. I like this. I like this legal guy. This legal eagle. You have to check his stuff out later. Okay.
Means that any of the ramifications
Help me
in the
skip
material
back ahead.
usage
Hold on.
text that they have, so it should be okay. You may not use any materials in conjunction with any of the following: unapproved Square Enix assets, counterfeit merchandise, pornography, unlicensed Square Enix music available for
That's where they're really drawing a
download,
thin line.
or links to unlicensed Square Enix music available for streaming or download. So this one is a little bit interesting. Unapproved Square Enix assets. So they have that third-party modded thing that would most likely be unapproved. They wouldn't approve of you using something that's been data mined. But then you have to question everything else on the billboard. Fortunately, most of it seems to be logos that are unique to the individuals, such as the DJs or the nightclub, and don't actually seem to be reused Final Fantasy.
Yeah, and that's fine to put up on a billboard.
The picture's kind of blurry.
That's no problem. They're
I'm
putting
trying
their
to
own
do
personal
this real
logos.
quick before I have to go do something else. Counterfeit merchandise, again, they're not selling anything. Now, pornography is actually somewhat of a concerning topic. Now, of all the things
I
in the
just
billboard
realized
up to this
too,
point, only the top, the modded top, has actually been something
I'm
that
a fool.
breaks these material usage rights.
There we go.
However,
My fault. Half the video I've covered my dude's face up.
Does indeed have 18+ services associated with its account or with its venue, and that's not advertised anywhere on the billboard. So if someone were to say, look at the billboard and then attend said event and find that these things were present at it, that could actually fall into a bit of a problem. Now, from what I understand, it is specifically a text-based service, an ERP service, if you will, that is only accepted for in-game currency GIL. Now, because of that, I'm not exactly sure what the ramifications are. And of course, I'd probably have to know more about Texas and California law, states where these billboards actually showed up, to understand what it means when you don't properly advertise 18+ content. That being said, if the actual event doesn't have 18+ content and all of the 18+...
I didn't really think about that, dude. Like, if they do have, it's obviously like an 18+ club and you didn't put that on the billboard, that's probably even more hot water they're in, dude. Like, if you're having any event and there's, an age restriction on it, you need to post what the age is. Like, imagine if, I don't know, like some kid or something saw like some 10, just kind of seeing like, oh, this looks cool. Let me hop into this game and check this place out. And they go here. That's pretty bad. It's pretty damn bad. Yeah, bottom left is like the best spot to put your camera. That's why I have mine there all the time. Especially if you play 14, it just blocks the oh wow. It just blocks the chat box and everything. But yeah, I gotta do more reviews of videos and stuff, and remember next time to move my camera right at the start. And yeah, this is it's definitely a popular spot in that bottom left. It's fancy.
Content is actually scrubbed from all of their Discord, from their website, whatever, that may allow it to fall out of line with that. But again, that's why I would prefer to see someone with more professional expertise, as well as all the information that the community has gathered, to provide better commentary on this. They have more knowledge, they have more research, and I just think it would be a really good listen. Now, on top of that, at this last one, in relation to any functions within the game which allows you to perform virtual music instruments, this is not something we have to worry about. As far as I know, they actually have the DJs play music on Twitch channels and not in any way mod the game or anything in that capacity.
That's cool.
And they also don't use virtual music instruments or performance actions. This is just saying, this entire section, that you can't use the performance feature to replicate music that does not belong to Final Fantasy XIV. So if people follow that. Anyway, and we don't need to care about guidelines for videos, musics, and sounds, specifically in the case of the billboard. And then the last section is just about takedown notices. So just looking at the material usage rights, not looking at the user agreement or the legal notifications on the other side,
I want to
it
find
looks like
that
they have 1, maybe 2
content
points
thingy.
against them, and it would be a fairly straightforward way to get them to take it down. Square Enix sends them a takedown notice, and if anything, they'd be in more hot water, potentially with the Billboard company. Again, not sure how that stuff works. But at the end of the day,
Right.
it came very close to following all of the material usage rights to the T. They had swapped out
Very
a couple of
close.
things in that picture, and it honestly might have just been perfectly okay. A little bit of a meme because I think it's a bit extreme to put up a billboard.
I think if they didn't have the modded gear or modded characters on there, it would have been perfectly fine. And if they really promoted it as, you know, whatever age it was supposed to be, that's drawing a thin line there. But I think if they really just didn't mod anything and followed everything here strictly to a T, I think it would have been fine. But they really they mess up quite a bit.
But otherwise, not so bad. And again, people are wondering why this is an important topic, and it's because content creators essentially do a lot of the things that this billboard does, and myself included. We'll take patch notes, we'll take gameplay, we'll take screenshots, we'll take all these different assets that don't technically belong to us, and use them in order to produce content that
So as
we
content
do
creators
receive
are
monetary gain
leeches.
off of. We do actually earn commercial gains on the platforms that are approved. We are just making sure that it is on the approved platforms. Now, this also
Not a
doesn't
random
take
billboard.
into account Square Enix's general policies, which may be a bit conflicting or different from what we have in the official Final Fantasy XIV ones. They may see a billboard as a medium with which they do not approve of for content creation or for advertisement.
True. There's nothing specifically stating about a billboard.
That the game is being advertised through this billboard and not a particular event within the game. So there are other things at play here. But at the end of the day, what does this likely mean for the rest of us playing Final Fantasy XIV? Well, much like the last event that we all made a big hubbub about, most likely nothing at all. They're unlikely to go back on policies where they install, well, they have a policy against installing third-party programs that detect mods, essentially.
They're never going to do something where they have a separate program detecting mods. I don't think they're going to do that, but I think this is going to have them look a lot more closely at modded gear and modded outfits and all the people that do, like, you know, the really nice, gorgeous, like, screenshots and everything. I think they're going to be looking at that a bit more closely now, because this is not only is it, like, you know, an actual thing, like a billboard out there, it's also become pretty popular on the internet, so they've definitely seen it and have definitely taken action.
It's
Even
a
if it's just
liability
internal.
that they don't want to have to deal with, and on top of that, this isn't really any different than things they've given us warnings for in the past. They have given us verbal warnings, and please don't do that. Please don't do that. In the past on live letters regarding
Poor Yoshi P,
modern
man. He's gonna pull his hair
and with
out.
much more explicit content at play. So I don't think this billboard thing is really going to matter at all. I think it's going to be fun to talk about for a couple days, maybe get a few copy pastas out of it. And at the end, we'll just be like, I can't even believe that just happened.
I still think people are going to get banned for it. I really think so. Like, I don't think they're going to be playing anymore, especially after they went a bit more hard on mods and everything from, like, streamers, especially during, was that Dragon Song's Reprise, the newest Ultimate, where people were using, you know, mods and everything, add-ons to just impact gameplay. It's not impacting gameplay, but this also promoting something that's not in the game. It's promoting something that's against terms of service, technically. And that's the way I kind of look at it personally. Again, I don't know this stuff officially or, like, legally, but looking at it like that, that's where my brain's kind of functioning with it.
Let me know what you think about it in the comment section of the video below. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share. And if there are any new developments in this, I'll be sure to bring them to you. And, well, hopefully they'll be just as interesting as this one was. Anyway, with that, I'll see you in the next one.
That's for sure.
Take care.
All right, cool. So that was Mr. Happy. I've never seen any of his content before, but that was a really, really well put together, you know, straightforward video where kind of laid out all his stuff for it. So definitely gonna give him a like. Let me link the video in chat. Well, actually, I know Naz, I know you did that earlier, but I'll link it again. So if you guys haven't already, go check that out. You know, drop him a subscribe. You know, like all that fun stuff. But I'm definitely gonna check out more of his content. That was really informative too. It was nice to see just somebody discuss it and everything. But Man, I still just can't believe this is a thing. It's crazy, dude.